Hey guys, Outdoor Prepper. I want to welcome you back to the channel. We've got a pretty interesting generator here today, and I think this Champion 2500 starting watt, 1815 running watt, this is on gasoline, might just be the absolute ultimate small suitcase style inverter generator. And I just picked this up. You know, I took it out of the car here at Outdoor Prepper headquarters. I ordered a cover for it. All I did so far was just, cut the box open. I have not taken it out. You're actually looking at this with me for the very first time. I'm going to go ahead and take this out of the box, see what comes with it, get some oil in it. I'm going to install an hour meter, and then we're going to test this out on both propane and gasoline. But I want to talk about why I think this really is the ultimate generator. I almost bought a Honda, the eu2200i, and I may still buy that at some point just because I like generators. But in terms of, camping, RV use, even some home backup power use, why do I think this might be the ultimate? Well, let's talk about it as I'm unpacking it, and as you can see kind of what comes in the box here. The Honda, which is conceivably the best unit, I think, in my opinion, maybe Yamaha might tie for it, it's $1,100. This thing you can grab for like $500-600 all day long. It's literally half the cost. But not only that, this is packaged really well. This is, I guess this is the propane hose, some oil, and a funnel. Actually that, and the propane regulator, I'm sorry. That actually leads me to another point. The Honda comes with nothing. It comes with the generator. Not even a funnel, not even oil, nothing else. And it's just gasoline. This thing, which is incredibly well packed, runs on propane and gasoline, which quite honestly, in my opinion, that doubles its value right away. Listen, the Honda's a great unit. And if you want to spend $1,100, you got a great unit. However, if you wanted to run on propane, they do make kits. And I actually started looking into them. I was going to buy one and the generator, but the kit is another like $350. So now you're almost $1,500 in to get the Honda when you can buy this for a third, and it can do basically every single thing the Honda can do, and maybe more. This has a 12-volt cigarette lighter plug, whereas the Honda doesn't have that. So let's get this out of the box. I'm just going to put the camera down for a minute, pull it out of the box, and we're going to take a better look at it. I've taken it out of the box. Before we get to the generator, let's just take a closer look at what came with it. So we've got the propane regulator and the hose. Now this is pretty short. This is, I think, 2.3 feet from what I was reading on the specs on the website. And, I like to use 30-pound propane tanks because you do get significantly more runtime. So will it fit? Yeah, I think so. It should. But, it's a little short. I was reading that you can call Champion and get a longer one, so I will definitely attempt that, and I will let you know how that turns out. This right here is kind of a cover for the regulator. It screws on right over here, and then it allows you to kind of clip the hose here, or clip this onto, I guess, the handle of the generator. So that's what this is. Comes with the funnel, obviously, and comes with, if you can see here on the side, half a liter of oil, which I guess is the exact amount that this unit takes, but I will double check that in the owner's manual. And listen, like most of these small suitcase style inverters, or even most generators, you really just fill the oil up until it comes up to the threads on the dipstick fill. So taking a look at this right off the bat, and Champion has a million different versions of this generator, just so you guys know. So I actually misspoke a little bit, but we'll get to that in a second. But taking a look at the side here, I really like the easy access. You just turn these and the whole panel just pops right off. That makes servicing the engine really easy, adding oil, checking the oil, changing the spark plug. You've got this little cover up here that just slides. It's kind of hard to do this with one hand, but this will slide out and pop off to service the spark plug. On the top, we've got the vent on and off. As you can see right now, it's in the on position. That would be the off position. Just a basic fuel cap. No screen in there, but truthfully, that's okay. I always throw the screens out anyway. Looking at the front, that is where I misspoke a little bit. I said this had a 12-volt cigarette lighter plug. It actually doesn't. This is the upgraded one. Shows you I don't even know what I bought. It has two USB A's. So that's great. I actually would prefer the USB over the 12-volt cigarette lighter because I truthfully don't have any devices that use the cigarette lighter. But you know, some units have it, some don't. Again, Champion makes a million different versions of this generator that have all different things. So you have to really, 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 if you want something specific, like if you need that cigarette lighter plug, pay a lot of attention. I don't need it, so I don't really care. I'm actually pleasantly surprised that this does not have it, and it has the USBs. Hope you can see coming down here. These are just rain covers for the parallel ports. This is Champion's, they call it the easy start dial. Right now it's in off, engine off. This is propane, this is gasoline, and that is choke. I've read a lot of things about these units being really difficult to start on propane. I've watched a lot of videos. Some people crank at it and pull at it forever. Other people, it's like the first try. My opinion, and we'll do this live, you're going to watch me, well, not live, but we'll do it recorded. You're going to watch me for the first time start this on propane. What happens when you hook up the regulator is, obviously there's air in this hose here, the propane hose. So you got to purge the air, and the way you purge that is by putting it into choke, and you give it, 3 to 5 pulls to get the air out and the propane in, and then you switch it over to propane and you start it. It will not start on choke, it has to start on propane, but you need the choke to get the air out of the line. So we'll do that and see how that goes. Right down here, this is where your propane hooks up. It's just a little dust cover. The prong goes right in here, and there's a little hole right here, which the other end of the cable or the hose goes into. I don't really know why they did this. I guess so it doesn't move around, but that's really a useless feature. I own a Predator dual fuel unit, which I love, and it does not have a little prong to keep the hose from moving. Again, don't know why that's there. This is the eco button, eco on, eco off. This is the reset button if you were to trip the breaker. Well, this is a breaker, but this is a reset to just kind of reset if the generator has overloaded. This is your low oil indicator light. It's a nice little rain cover here for the duplex outlets. Those are some pretty nice outlets. Those are 20 amp outlets. You can tell by the line in the side there, and it's also 20 amp right up here. Then you've got your grounding lug, and this, since it's a newer unit, this is obviously brand new. This is end of April in end of March. Forgive me, end of March in 2024. This has the CO shield, so if you start this in an enclosed garage and you're not very smart, because you shouldn't do that, it will just turn off as opposed to killing you. Let's turn this around a little bit. Just check out the other side. There's not much to see on this side. Again, the labeling, dual fuel, brand name, some really basic instructions here. 10W30, no E85 for the gasoline, turn on the vent, turn it to choke, pull, turn it to gas. Obviously, if you want to do propane, turn it to propane. Plug in your device. Turn it off, unplug your device, turn the fuel cap to off, and turn the engine switch to off. So that's basically, the generator. Let's just turn it one more time so you can see the back. This is the exhaust port. The back is actually really nice. This is a nice unit. It seems very well made. So far, obviously I have not started, I have not used it yet, but I do like it. I have owned and do currently own a lot of 2,000, 2,500 watt suitcase inverters, and I really wanted this specific model because it's dual fuel. I firmly believe that dual fuel makes this the best generator. And listen, best is a relative or a subjective term, right? What does best mean? Is it the best made? Is it the best value? Is it the lowest noise, quality? There's a lot of opinions on that. And in my opinion, it's kind of a combination of everything. Price, quality, noise, efficiency, ability to run on different types of fuel. So I think this kind of checks all those boxes. So just taking a look inside so far, looks really well made. Again, no complaints here. A little tag here. add oil, 10W30, and just as I indicated, you just fill it up to the bottom of the threads. Our Spanish-speaking friends on the other side, no oil in unit. Let's see what else. I like this, for those that are not familiar. This right here is a little screw, so you can open up a drain and drain the gasoline out of the carburetor bowl, and it'll come right down this hose, and it actually comes right out here, and we'll just drain it out. So before you store this unit, I would really suggest you either run the unit until it's empty and then just open this up for good measure, or if you don't run it until it's empty, definitely open that up and drain the fuel out. So that is a quick overview. Let's get some oil in this, and then I want to install an hour meter. So I have a small, let's take it out of the box here. I'll show you exactly what it looks like. You can buy these on Amazon. I got 2 of these for 12 bucks. So this is an inductive hour meter, and basically the way it works is you take this cable, you wrap it around the spark plug, and then it tucks neatly into the side here, and that's it. And then it picks it up. It picks up the engine running. So what I'm planning on doing is mounting it right here, kind of out of the way of everything. I'm not going to use the screws because I really don't want to drill too many holes into it. I'm just going to use double-sided tape, and then the actual cable, when you slide the spark plug cover off, and again I'm right-handed and it's kind of hard to do this with my left hand, but when you slide this off, there's little rails that this slides into. I'm going to drill a super tiny pilot hole in there, get the cable running there, wrap it around the spark plug, and we should be good to go. Okay, so I decided to do the hour meter install off the camera, and I gotta be honest, it was actually a real pain in the neck to install this hour meter. And this is not the first time I've installed one, but it was pretty difficult. And again, the left hand, so hard to open this. This is actually not easy to open. So what I did was I drilled a tiny little hole in the case right here, and this is the wire that then comes inside. I ran it this way and over to the spark plug boot, about an inch, off the boot. I wrapped it 6 times around the spark plug wire. I zip tied it, and then I cut it to length. I did start the unit on True Fuel just so I could test the hour meter to see if that was working. I've been using this on and off, and I've had success with it, but I have read a couple of bad reviews about True Fuel. So I'm curious if any of you guys have had good or bad success stories with this. Leave it in the comments. Let me know. I like this because it is non-ethanol and it has stabilizer in it. And where I live, I cannot really find non-ethanol fuel. So this is really my only option. I did not want to screw more holes into the case, so I bought double-sided 3M tape on Amazon, which costs like $5 for like 10 pieces. And I just put this on here with adhesive tape. So this seems to be working really well. Like I said, I put the True Fuel in here, and I was able to start it actually on the first pull. It did idle a little rough for the first probably 30 seconds, and then it smoothed out. I was able to take it off eco, keep it on eco, but that was with the True Fuel. The real test is going to be the propane, and we'll do that together. But I have to say, just a couple of thoughts on this, and I still really like the generator, but I want to be clear, this door is a real pain in the neck to open. So you have to turn each of these to the left, to the unlock, and there's like, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but right here there's a little tab, there's another tab here, there's another tab here, it connects down here, another tab here. You really got to kind of like pull this door off to get it off, which is a little irritating, and I don't feel that the door goes back on very smoothly. I have not owned a Honda yet, but it is on my shopping list, and from all the videos I've seen, the Honda, much easier to put the door back on. Even the Furman, which does not per se have a door, you actually just have to take screws and take the panel off, comes off really easy, and the Furman's a very cheap unit. But the door being difficult to take off should not really impact the performance of the unit, so I don't want to unfairly judge it. But let's go ahead and take the unit, let's put it outside, let's start it up so you can see how this starts. The plan is to run this on the True Fuel until it runs out. I only had about half a bottle here, so I don't really know how long that's going to last, but once it runs out, Then I'm going to switch it over to propane, and I'm going to run it the rest of the time on propane. I want to get 5 hours on this and then do an oil change. So let's go take this outside. But real quick before I do, if you could do me a favor, if you could hit like and subscribe if you find this helpful, it really does help me and it helps the algorithm. So let's go outside. All right, we're outside now. I have placed this kind of under a table because it looks like it might rain, so I'm going to open the umbrella just to protect it a little bit. The last time I started this was yesterday when I was initially beginning the filming of this video. So it is very cold. So let's put the choke on and let's do this together. So if you can see, we're on choke. I'm going to go ahead and pull this. I've opened the vent on the fuel cap, so that's on. There's not a lot of fuel in here, but probably enough for about an hour or so. And let's see if I could do this with one hand. A little harder with one hand. So that started right up on one pull. That's the CO light flashing. We're on gasoline. That's flashing to let you know that the system is operational, and it goes off. And let's back up and just let you hear it for a minute. So this is on eco, and it's probably hard to tell on the camera. I am now probably about 10 feet away. This is pretty quiet, guys. I have to be honest. This is definitely a lot quieter than the Furman. It's quieter than some of my open frame inverter generators, obviously. Would I say this is as quiet as the Honda? I don't know. I don't have a Honda, but from the videos I've seen, the Honda is pretty quiet. Let's take it off eco. So you can hear the difference. It has now idled up. And like I said, the plan right now is to just let this run until it runs out of fuel. And we'll take a look at the hour meter. We'll see how long it will have run. And then I want to switch it over to propane. And I want to let it run on propane until we can get to 5 hours and then do an oil change. Let's put it back on eco. What I'm probably going to do, and I'll do this off camera, I'm going to plug a little space heater in, and probably every 30 minutes I'm going to change the load. So we're going to start on fan, then after 30 minutes we're going to go to the first power setting, which is about 900, 1,000 watts. After another 30 minutes we'll go to 1,500 watts. After that we'll go back down to 1,000, we'll go back to the fan. And my plan is to just kind of keep, moving the load up and down until we run out of fuel. Then I'm going to switch it to propane, do the same thing. So let's come back once this is out of gasoline. Hey guys, all right, we're back. It's the morning now. We actually ran out of gasoline last night, and then it started to rain, so I just called it for the evening. The generator ran maybe like another, I don't know, a little less than a half an hour on the gasoline before it ran out because I didn't have very much in it. As you can see, the hour meter, we're only at 0.8 hours. Actually, one thing I failed to mention when I was talking about the hour meter install, it was really, really, really tight in here. When I took the spark plug cover off, because you have to kind of pull the boot off the spark plug so you can wrap the induction wire around the boot. I couldn't even get my hand in there to get the spark plug boot off. It was incredibly difficult. I actually had to use a tool, so I wasn't very pleased with that. If you're going to put a spark plug access cover, make it wide enough so somebody can actually take the spark plug boot off the plug. And the other thing I noticed that I was a little surprised, to be honest, I'm just going to move this tank closer, was that it did not come with a tool to take the spark plug off as most generators do. But this is the moment of truth. I really want to see how difficult this is going to be to start on propane. And forgive me, I'm doing this all with one hand. But let's see, let's hook this up to the tank. Now I'm going to try something that is not in the manual, and hopefully it's not a bad idea, but I turned this on, and there's no propane flowing with it on. I'm going to try to hook this in, see if I could bleed some of the air out. It does not seem to be doing anything. Let's turn this off and back on. I know there is a check valve in here, so maybe I accidentally tripped the check valve. But what I was trying to do is I was trying to bleed a little bit of air from the line. But anyway, let's turn this, let's keep this on choke. What I'm going to try to do now is give it a few pulls, and I'll give it probably 5 pulls on choke and see what happens, and then I'm going to turn it over to run. I'm going to put the camera down. I think you can still see this largely. You know, let me just prop this up a little bit. Bear with me, I'm creating a makeshift tripod here. Alright, so I'm going to try to start this on propane for the first time. Tank is open. We're on choke. That was pretty encouraging. That was 3, 4, 5. Now let's go to propane and see what happens. That was actually pretty easy. I mean, I've read and watched a lot of reviews online where it was really, really difficult to start this on propane. This was my first attempt, and that was not hard at all. Not even a little bit. So, very pleased with that. And I can actually smell the exhaust has that propane smell. Kind of smells like a forklift. Much more pleasant smell, much cleaner burning smell than the gasoline, to be honest. One thing I did notice in a lot of the reviews, and I don't know if I can really tell from here, to be honest, but when you're running on propane, it actually idles higher on both eco mode and off eco mode. And I don't know if that's because you get less power on propane, so you know it's got to compensate for that. I'm not really sure, but we're on eco mode right now. It's still quiet, believe me. This is still not loud, but it might be slightly louder than it was last night on gasoline. Let me take it off of eco. That's still pretty quiet, all things considered. And like I said yesterday, I was powering a space heater at different loads to kind of, you know, put some different strains on the engine. So let's go back to eco. So guys, I think that pretty much wraps up this review. Like I said, if you can do me a favor and like and subscribe, I would really appreciate it. And to just kind of give you my final thoughts, very, very happy with this Champion dual fuel unit. The things I don't really like, that side door is a little difficult to take off. I think they could have made it a little bit easier. The tabs all over the side, just they don't make a lot of sense, especially if there's 2 knobs to turn. Also the spark plug access door, really difficult to take that off. And once the access door is off, it's almost impossible to get the spark plug boot off. I don't think I have extra large hands. My hands are of average size, and I was definitely unable to fit my hand in the access cover to take the boot off. I had to use a tool. Other than those 2 items, I'm very, very happy with it. It's quiet. It seems to be well made. No issues with the power. I had the space heater on it on all different settings, and that performed well. I don't really understand the point of that little barb on the propane hose that has to go in that hole. Actually, no, I'm just thinking out loud. Maybe there's a button in there, and maybe it needs to sense the hose, and maybe that barb is pressing a button. I don't really know, but I'll check that out off camera. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to let this run now until we reach 5 hours. We're almost at an hour, and then I will do another video of an oil change. So thanks for watching, and check out the next video once the 5 hours is up.